lovely friends, welcome to So Sweet Violet. My name is Jules and this is a video log really of the crafty side of my life. All my knitting and occasionally crochet, sewing, what else do I do? All sorts of crafting really. All the creative bits, this is where I share them. So I live in West Sussex with my husband Pete and our gorgeous whippet girl Mabel. I have two grown-up children, one who works with me, Bryony, and I'm sure if you've been here before you'll be very familiar with Bryony, and she works with me at So Sweet Violet, which is our online shop where we make project bags and pincushions and wall art and rope baskets and oh, you name it, we try and have a go at making it. And we also curate lovely tools and accessories for crafters. I find that bit so hard and I'm really glad that's done. I have a very watery eye today. I think I need to try and find some waterproof concealer for this eye because it always waters when I wear makeup. Doesn't matter what makeup it is, how I put it on, how clean my finger utensil brush is, it just waters. This one's doing it a little bit, this one's doing it a lot, but we'll forget that. Don't need to know that, do you really? So below this video on YouTube, you'll find links to all the things I talk about. Most of the links will go to Ravelry, to my projects, which will then tell you what yarn I use, what pattern, etc, etc. But if you do have trouble with Ravelry, just drop me a message either on Instagram or in the comments on this video, and I'll do my best to help out. What else did I want to say? Is that everything? I don't know. I don't know if that's everything or not. I'm a bit rusty. I've got a cup of chamomile tea today. I've had my coffee. Sometimes I fancy another coffee, sometimes I don't. So I've just got a chamomile tea and I love this mug. It's actually a teacup and saucer from Emma Bridgewater. It's so spring-like. I hope you've had a happy and crafty and healthy time since I saw you last. It's been a little while, a bit longer than I wanted it to be because I've not been very well again. If you've been here before, you'll know that I've got Lyme's disease, and if you're new, I have Lyme's disease. And in fact, I've had lots of new subscribers lately, so a big welcome. So I'm getting on pretty well with my Lyme's treatment. Because I've had it such a long time, the doctor said decades, that's how the test results, that's how he read the test results. And so all the Borrelii, which is the Lyme's bacteria, had got into my tendons and muscles, and it's very hard to get rid of when you've had it such a long time. And it's very hard to find somewhere to get treatment as well, because it's not, as far as I'm aware, my doctor is the only doctor in the country who actually treats long-term Lyme's disease. So I'm very, very, very lucky. So at the moment, I think I started treatment at the beginning of October last year. And that was major standard antibiotics. I think it was 6 weeks. It's all a bit of a blur now. And now I'm on herbal antibiotics for probably, I don't know, the end post keeps changing, but probably a year. 6 months to a year, I'd say. And so what had happened, because I was feeling so poorly, I had some blood tests done, and basically that showed that my body was struggling to excrete all of the dead bacteria basically, and I think I was just like a toxic swamp. My body was like a toxic swamp. So I came off the herbal antibiotics for a month, and I'm still off them at the moment, and I felt so unwell with all the toxicity. So I've been doing all the things that I can do to help that. There's a real draft coming in here? Oh, it's the vent on the window. And I take, my doctor's very into holistic treatments, so I'm not on much in the way of standard medication. It's more supplements and things like that now, and herbal remedies. So at the moment I'm on a break from the herbal antibiotics. I think I'm feeling a little bit better now, but I've just been so exhausted, so painful, so foggy, just horrible. But I'm hoping I've turned a corner until I go back on the drops, probably. I haven't got a huge amount to show you because of that, and I think it might be quite a quick journal. But anyway, let's get into the goodie bits, shall we? Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show you my Fragmentation shawl by Stephen West. I have been really enjoying this. This has been one thing that most days my brain has been capable of doing. Here we go. That's quite a good picture here. With the Fragmentation shawl, you can see that these lines, say the black line for instance, doesn't line up. It's kind of lower on each wedge. But with mine, I wanted it to, in fact I've basically copied, in a very nice way, my friend Emily's. Emily has the Salt City Knits podcast, and it is lovely. She and her sister, so Emily and Deborah. So Deborah has Candy Shop Yarn podcast, and Emily has Salt City Knits. Oh, those girls are just the best, the nicest, the kindest, they're just fabulous humans. I love them dearly. Anyway, Deborah was making one of these. And mine didn't start off like this, and if you want to find out how mine started off, watch my last episode. But I am doing a rainbow, a faded rainbow. So I'm using Surrey alpaca for the main colour. This is how you start. You cast on, oh gosh, I need to drop that in my tea. You cast on like, I think it's called a garter tab, but it's like a crescent, I'd say, and then you keep the stitches on hold. I got them on my barber cords here, or barber cord. These are knitting cords. They're absolutely brilliant. We stock them in our shop, but they're so good and they come in all sorts of beautiful colours. So my main colour is the Surrey, and then I have used just beautiful bits, leftovers of rainbow colours. So the first wedge are all the darkest colours, and then it's going to fade then right to the very end, and the 7 wedges, and I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, hang on, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, I'm on my 5th wedge now, and I hope you can see that it's fading. It did take quite a lot of brain power to work that out, but I'm really loving it now. And I've started sewing in my ends, and lovely Gaynor from Tales from Cuckoo Land told me how to do this. And it's basically, it's kind of duplicate stitch, but on the purl side. And it's so invisible. I really love it. I'm just going to see if I can find a bit. It's so invisible, it's really hard to see. You can kind of just see it along there. So I've got lots more to weave in, but actually I find it quite therapeutic. And I just love working with beautiful bits. I find I get so much pleasure. How I did it was I laid all of my colours on the bed in kind of lines, and I think I showed that in my last journal as well. And then I bagged them up. So this is the wedge I'm on at the moment, which is number 5, so I labelled them. So these are the colours I've got left to do. And I've got 6 and 7 here as well, all ready to go. So these are the very palest colours in here. And I'm just really enjoying it. So far, I think I'm still on my first ball. Actually, it's hard to tell because I think I'm still on my first ball of Surrey, but I did have some leftovers of that, so it's probably, I'd have to, even if I weighed it now, I should have weighed it as I went along, but yeah, so I can't really tell you, but I think I'm either on my first or my second skein of Surrey. But it's so pretty. I think it's going to look gorgeous. Let's see if I can put it on. Oh, it's going to look so pretty and spring-like. You can see the back. Oh, that's rubbish. Anyway, you can see this side. I think it's going to be super pretty, and I think it's going to be perfect for sitting out in the garden in the evenings or even in the day, because actually really quite cold here at the moment. The weather forecast was saying we were going to get some nice warm weather, but I don't know where it's gone because it hasn't come here. It is beautifully sunny, but it's nippy as anything. Do I need to tell you anything else? Oh yes, the pattern called for, I think it was 3.75 needles, and my gauge was really loose on that. Yeah. Which is weird because I'm a tight knitter, but I think it was just to make the shawl very drapey. But I went down in the end, after a few trials and errors, to 3.5. So I only went down 2.5, no, 0.25, a quarter of a size basically. Oh, that's so pretty. I do love that. So that is my first in the making. I'm going to put that to one side. My other in the making is something new that you haven't actually seen. So that's something, isn't it? I wanted to make myself a camisole, a knitted camisole. Not necessarily to wear on its own, although I might in the summer. But I wanted it really to have more for the winter and autumn and spring, an extra layer, and I just thought how cosy would that be to have a knitted camisole, or vest really I guess. So I decided to make the Ripple camisole by Jessie Made Designs, but I've made mine much longer because I've got a bit of a tummy. And I didn't want it to ride up on top of my tummy because that's not a very attractive look. So I've made it quite long. Let's see if I can hold it up against me. It's still not hugely long. Because it's rib, it obviously stretches out like that. And I've done the first, I guess it's like a cup, isn't it? Whoops. There we go. And I think it's going to be lovely. This yarn is so beautiful. And I've had it in my stash for absolutely years and years. I bought it, there it is. I bought it from lovely Julie of Sweet Sparrow Yarns, who is again a beautiful human being and wonderful. And I wish she'd start podcasting again because I miss her. And this is Sweet Sparrow Yarns, and the colourway is the Moon, and it's 50% merino, 50% silk. So it's super soft, and I don't know if you can see terribly well. Yeah, you can actually. It looks, oh, it's so subtly variegated with kind of greens and peaches and violets, but it kind of reads grey, doesn't it? It's so soft. And I bought this along with another skein, which I'm pretty sure is called Mother of Pearl. And I was making a shawl. I think it was called the Bumblebee Shawl or something like that. But it was kind of early on in my diving back to knitting, and I think I found it too complicated. I can't really remember, but I think that was the reason. So I've had these. This one doesn't look like it's been knit, but this whole ball, this is one whole ball. This had been knit, so it's a bit curly. And I think it's going to be super soft. It is pilling a little bit, kind of inside where it's been rubbing against itself, but do you know what? That just tells me it's going to be really soft, so I'm not bothered by that at all. And this project has kept me sane. This bit of knitting up to, well, I've just divided for the fronts, is hours and hours and hours of 3 by 3 ribbing, which a couple of years ago I'd have said, oh my goodness, how boring, I couldn't do that. But when you're not feeling 100%, but you still want to knit for the comfort, it's perfect. So I just went round and round and round and round and round for hours, laying on the sofa on my heat pad, and it was the best therapy ever. Yes, so I've done one of the fronts. That's very little. I feel like one boobie that's very little. But I guess that's not really, I guess it comes up like this, doesn't it? So it doesn't have to encapsulate the whole of it, if you know what I mean. So at this point I've got to, she says to try it on and figure out how long you need the straps, which are I-cord. But it's beautiful. I'm very excited, and I have some more yarn. The only thing I was worried about, because this is silk merino, I'm not very good at matching fibres with garments. I know alpaca really stretches and doesn't have much elasticity to come back again, but I don't know much about silk, but it's really soft and really lovely. So I'm just hoping it's going to behave well. So I'll keep you updated on that. I am using 3.75 needles. What does she recommend? I didn't do a swatch. I don't know why. Probably because I couldn't be bothered. So I've gone up a quarter of a size. She recommends 3.5 and I'm using 3.75. And she recommends doing, I think it was 11 to 13 centimetres for this bit, and I have done, well, that's at least 30 odd centimetres, isn't it? So I've done a lot more, but I'm not a tiny lady and I want to be snugged in, so I just did loads. What else did I want to say? Can't remember. The pattern so far has been brilliant. I've had no issues. This took a bit more brain power, but it's not because the pattern's not very good, it's because my brain is not very good. But I like the way that the rib stays the same whilst it's increasing. I think that's really nice. Yeah, so if I like it, I have some other yarn which I'll show you. I'm sitting on a cushion to make myself a bit higher. Oh, I just realised this has got alpaca in. I don't know. So I've got lots of this, which is Drops Baby Alpaca Silk. How many? There's probably 50 grams in there, isn't it? Yeah. So I probably need, I would imagine, three or four balls, I think it would take of this. So I'm going to see if I like this one and find it useful, I may make another one because I've really enjoyed this. So that's that. I've got that other ball, so I've got plenty of yarn, and I'm knitting the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th size, which is 1XL, and it should come out. I was a bit confused because obviously rib is sucky in, so I've gone for actual measurement of finished garment will be 36. Well, I'm way bigger than 36, but I'm thinking it has a lot of stretch, so I think that will be fine. And I've tried it on and it fits kind of up to here, so I think I will have no problems with that. I do have another in the making to show you, but it's not what's the word, proceeded? It's not, I've not been working on it since I showed you last, and it is my Marriott mitt, and I'm showing you to give myself a kick up the bum to get it done. But they're so beautiful. Look at those. I first came across these when I was watching Gorgeous Molly, another fabulous, beautiful human being on this planet, and she was knitting them like they were flying off her needles. And I thought, oh, I need some of that. So I decided I was going to make some, and I'm not really very experienced in Colorwork, but I did make the first one, which I think is beautiful. Oh, it is pretty, look at that. But I'm not going to lie, I found it so hard to concentrate. My brain does not really work very well on things like this, but I love it a lot. I did chicken out and do the thumb plain, and I wish I hadn't done that, so I may go back and change that. I have started the second one, but I've only just started the cuff. Look at this sweet little, I don't know if you can see that. Sweet little toadstool. I don't know if we've got any of those left in the shop or not. We have lots and lots. The shop is stuffed if you want to go and have a look at the moment. So I've got a lot to do, but I would love, they're always one of those things that's in the back of my mind that I think I must finish those because they're really pretty, and also they're weighing on me a little bit. So I'm showing you these to hopefully get them done by the next episode, and I'm hoping to record in 2 weeks if life is nice. And the yarn I'm using is absolutely gorgeous. It's from Molly, who so kindly sent it to me as a gift. Oh, it's so squishy and lovely and so soft, and it's her non-superwash. I hope I can find a label. Here we go. It's her non-superwash yarn, which I really love. I'd like to knit more non-superwash. One is Double Dare, which is obviously pink, and the other one is Fresh Sheets. I love how Molly says Fresh Sheets. She has a gorgeous accent. So you got to hold me to this, and I've got to finish. I can't remember what the thumb actually looked like. Oh yeah, okay. It's got a bit of pattern on it. I find it so hard in my brain. I think it's Lyme's disease brain, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much. That is so pretty. I think it's one of the prettiest mitt patterns I've ever seen. I love this kind of really curvy flower. I think it's beautiful. So that can go back in the bag, and that's all I've got in the making. And I've only got one finished thing, but I have got other bits to chat to you about. I'm going to have a little sip of tea. That is the perfect temperature. Bryony goes on her honeymoon today, a year after her wedding. They're finally going, so I'm so happy for them. I hope they have a fabulous time. And so she's obviously not going to be at work for, well, I think it works out about 10 days with kind of the weekends and things. So I'm on holiday too. So I woke up this morning and I thought, do you know what? I don't have to get up on time. So I laid in bed for a while, listened to a few messages from my friends, sent a couple of messages, and then I got up, had some breakfast, took all my supplements, which takes a while. Then I had a shower and got dressed, and then I thought, right, I'm going to record a journal. So here I am. But I'm planning on having 10 days. Do you know what? I have these ideas, these beautiful ideas of having 10 days of just pottering around the kitchen and the garden and knitting, and but I know I have this terrible habit. Well, it's not really a terrible habit, but I love work. I love what I do. I love making things for you all, and I just love it. I get such joy out of it. Just lately though, it's been more admin than sewing, which has not been that joyful. But so I know I'm going to end up doing some work, but I figure if that's what I want to do, if that's where I'm going to get some enjoyment, then I should do it, but only do it when I want to. So that's kind of my little holiday, is going to be lots of knitting. I would like to do some personal sewing, some dressmaking perhaps, or something, but I'm not sure. Sometimes I say these things and they just don't happen. I'd like to do some gentle gardening. I've got some seeds growing in the greenhouse. They've not germinated very well. I'd say less than a third of my flower seeds have not even germinated. I think it's just been too cold. We had a couple of kind of warm spring days, but that's been it really. So I think I'm going to try and sow some more into the little pods that they didn't germinate from. So I've got that to do. I'd like to do some more recording for my Patreon. I want to start a sew along, and there's lots of things I want to catch my patrons up on. Yeah, so yeah, I think I'm going to have a gentle time. A bit of puttering around in the kitchen, make some nice healthy things to eat. Sounds good, doesn't it? I wish I could go out for a walk with Mabel, but I still haven't been able to do that. I've only driven once since October, because when I don't feel very well, it comes over me sometimes really suddenly, and I don't want to be somewhere and then feel poorly and then not be able to drive back. So I just haven't been driving. I really need to go to the hairdressers. My hair is so long and I just want a couple of inches cut off, but I may just do that myself. Right, let's get on to finish things. Only one. So last episode I showed you one sock and another one just had a toe. Well, I've finished these now, and these are knit for the Marie Curie Cancer Fund, and they'll be gifted to people with terminal illnesses. And I think it's just such a nice thing, because I don't know if everybody realises who doesn't knit, but a knitted sock takes a really long time, and I hope that when they're given to the recipient that they feel the love in all of these stitches, because I really enjoyed knitting. Well, I don't like this sock, to be quite honest, but I enjoyed knitting it because I'm hoping it will give comfort to somebody. So these I knit man-sized because apparently they struggle for man socks, and I did them the manliest yellows that I had in my beautiful bits. So there we go, that's those. Basically I had 20-gram balls mostly, and I split them in half, so each of these sections is 10 grams. They're huge. I think they're probably a 10 to 11 because they're too big for Pete. And yeah, so I think that'll be 11 probably, I think. These are knit using my Sweet Vanilla toe up sock pattern, and I did the 72 stitch, so the largest size. So it's got a beanie toe, Godet heel, which is the easiest heel in the world, I think, and it's so neat. And I popped in the crunkled stitch pattern by Kay Jones from her crunkled socks. Yeah, I hope someone really loves those. So that's my second pair I've made. The first pair were these, which you would have already seen if you follow me. These are much paler. All knit out of beautiful bits though, so they haven't cost me any money, just time, and we all have time we can use. So I'd like to knit one more pair, and I think I'm going to knit a shorty pair. I think I'm going to make my stripy shorts socks. So I probably need to start on those soon, but yeah, I think I really feel happy about that. I've purchased a couple of things since I've seen you last, which actually is quite unusual for me. I have been knitting from stash more or less, and trying not to spend too much money because my treatment costs a fortune. I can't have it on the NHS because it's not available, and it is very expensive, and my insurance company are not being very helpful anyway. But I did treat myself to these beautiful minis from Sherry Iris, another beautiful lady. This is so pretty, and they're Peter Rabbit, so I just couldn't resist those. Just look at those colours. I think I'm going to knit myself a nice pair of stripy socks of some description. Maybe there's a... oh, I think I've got it in my drawer, the pattern. This is where I keep some of my patterns that I'm hoping to knit, just in this desk drawer here. Oh, what's it called? Sorry, this is annoying, isn't it? No. Oh, here it is. From Pip and Pin. These, I think they're called sprocket socks. I don't know why I had to... oh, just says there, look. There we go, that's the front page. Sprocket socks. So I think I may knit those. Or the pattern anyway. I always like to use my own sock recipe and then just pop a pattern in. So that's probably what I'm going to do with those. But they're, oh, they're just so lovely. And I was feeling poorly and I just wanted to treat myself. And Sherry also put in this beautiful little lavender sachet, which I don't know why, but it brings so much joy. And then a few days ago, I ordered a book from Tangled Yarns. And this was kind of another I feel sorry for myself treats. Oh, it looks so cute. And it's called Moosh and Friends. Seamless Toys to Knit and Love. And there seems to be babies everywhere at the moment. I think it's that time of year. And I just thought I would love to knit some of these things. To be honest, I really love their little outfits. Let me see if I can show you some of the creatures. Oh, look. They're so cute. Oh, they're characters, right? So we have Moosh. He's obviously the main character. I think he's in his pyjamas there. Look at Hazel. Oh, she's adorable. Then we have Forest. He's not my favourite. Oh, then we have Aggie. She's adorable with her gingham dress. And then Tino. Oh, he's so sweet. I do have a favourite. This is Giorgio. I've only very, very quickly zipped through this book. Horatio. Look at his dungarees. So sweet. Alphonse, I think. This is my favourite. Nana the duck. I'm going to make her. She is so cute. Oh look, she's got a little basket of yarns. Oh my goodness, that is utterly adorable. Oh, I didn't see these. Dodo and Mimosa. Oh, they're cute. Can you imagine a little baby just sort of having that in their hand? Oh, it's too cute to imagine, really. And we've got Billy. And we've got Henry. Again, it's not my favourite. And I think that's all of the characters, but they're so sweet. And I love the fact that they are seamless. So I'm going to be having a good look through that later with a nice cup of coffee. So that's all my purchases, which is quite an unusual section for me actually. I've got a few new things in the shop. I'm very, very excited about a couple of them. Actually all of them, always, but I just get excited by getting new things in the shop. Really, really enjoy it. So first up, I feel like there's another set I'm not showing you. These are gorgeous fabric labels from Sarah Hart's, and she is a woman-owned company in America. And on the back it says, high quality labels that are soft to the touch. They can be sewn into any seam or along the edges to add joyful details to all your me-made textile projects. Did I say projects? Projects. I don't know. There's 8 labels in each pack. They're all in the shop now. And the reason I thought they'd be so fabulous is because I have a few jumpers I never know the front from the back. So I just stitched in a little heart, but it could be any of them. Oh, it's so cute, isn't it? And I just stitched it in with a sewing machine. Don't know how. Yeah, you can see that, I think, can't you? And now I know which is the back. Oops. And which is the front. And I'm very pleased about that. So I've got more labels to sew on some of my other jumpers. So here we've got Stitched with Love. Can't quite see those. And they're metallic. We've got the little hearts. My favourite, I think. Yeah, there is another one. Okay, there's this one. Quilting is my superpower. I'm going to add some of these to my quilts. Made by me. Another metallic one with a golden rainbow. And I'm pretty sure we have handmade, and it's kind of rainbow letters, which is gorgeous. So we've got those in stock. We have also got another new product, which I think is adorable. Oops. I want to make it look extra nice for you. There we go. Fabric only little tags, and these are wooden tags, and they've got on the back, they've got a little bee, which is the bee from our logo, and So Sweet Violet, and you can choose the colour of metal chain. We've got, I think we've basically got a rainbow of colours. So this is obviously the purple. I'll put a photo in here so you can see. So this is the purple, which, you know, is beautiful, isn't it? There's pink, red, orange, white, green. I think it might be turquoise rather than blue, but you'll see them on the screen. I love them so much. And these were made for us by lovely Emma of Yarnistry, and her work is spot on. And also, just to let you know, we have some skinny pinnies in stock. Oh, I love these. These are also made out of beautiful bits, but beautiful bits of Liberty fabric. And these are our skinny pinny pin cushions, and they're stuffed with walnut, crushed walnut, and we basically just use our scraps of Liberty, not always, but mostly. And this is kind of greeny yellow one. And even on the back, quite often you'll see a join where we've used scraps of linen. The walnut is enclosed in its own kind of inner bag, and then it has the lovely Liberty outer. So I think these are the three colours we have in the shop at the moment. So we have pinks and reds, yellow, peaches and pinks, and yellow and green, and they're all very springy and beautiful. That was a lot of talking. The last thing I want to chat to you about is that our So Sweet Violet 12-day Knitters Advent box is now available in our shop. They went live a few days ago. I can't remember when. Oh, the sun's come out. That's nice. So I just wanted to chat a little bit about it with you. So this year, our fabric choice is this. We have a whole bolt of this gorgeous Liberty. It's called Felicity and it's pinks and reds, and I love a pink and red theme for Christmas. Also, I love it because it's not just for Christmas, it's for any time of the year, and I love that. Oh, it's so beautiful. I don't know how much is going to be left by the time we finish, but I'm thinking I would rather love a dress out of this. Oh, it's so gorgeous. So let me try and explain a little. So the Knitters 12-day Advent box is available now in our shop. I'll put the on the screen, and it I can show you what it comes in actually. Oh, this box is not containing an Advent. It's containing a lot of fabric for a project, but it will come in one of these gorgeous keepsake boxes, which are really sturdy and have a magnetic flap. And inside your box you will find a handmade project bag, handmade by Bryony and I, and then you will also find 12 individually wrapped gifts, all numbered and beautifully wrapped, because we just love that. You will find things like, well, let me tell you a couple of makers. So the yarn this year is being dyed by Dandelion and Dogwood, so that's gorgeous Amy and Jen. So they're dyeing the yarn, and it will coordinate with the fabric, and it will be a sock set. Oh, I don't know how much I can tell you. Let me see what we wrote on Instagram, so I'm not giving too much away. Oh yes. And there'll also be a beautiful gift from Gloucester's Pottery. If you've not come across Gloucester's Pottery before, please go and have a look. They make the most beautiful things, and they're a small company here in the UK, as is Dandelion and Dogwood. We love to support small makers and artisans in the UK if possible, sometimes outside the UK. So you'll also get other gifts, but all the gifts will be kind of well-being gifts, knitting related gifts, or crochet. That's fine for crochet or knitting. I don't think I want to tell you anything else, but the gifts are joyous. Honestly, we have so much fun hunting down the gifts that we would like to receive, and then we put them in the Advents and we keep one for ourselves normally. So that's how much we love the gifts. So the Knitters Advent is now available to purchase. There's not a huge amount left, but we are hoping we've made enough this year. We have been doing the Knitters Advent this is our 7th year. We've also got the Sewist 12-day Advent box, and that will be launched on the 4th of May at 8 PM, so that's not out yet. It's the same fabric, but a completely different style of bag. So the other thing I want to say is, if you wanted to treat yourself to both Advent boxes, there's no repeats at all. Everything is different. The fabric will be the same, but the bag is very different. So the sewing one then. This is our 2nd year of doing the sewing one. And you'll receive one of our signature sewing bags. I'll try and find a picture and put on the screen now, but it's a flat, more of a square bag with a front horizontal zip. So it's exactly the same idea as the Knitters one. So you'll get a bag in a beautiful keepsake box, and then 12 beautifully wrapped and numbered gifts. And our special friends featuring in the Sewist Advent is again Gloucester's pottery, something different from Gloucester's pottery, and Thimbleville. I don't know if you've heard of Thimbleville, but also go and take a look at her work. It's so adorable. We're just so excited, and whatever we've ordered one extra of everything because we want one too. So yes, that's Advent excitement. So knitters is already out, find them in the shop. We've also added Klarna as a payment option in the shop, which means I don't know if it's available to everybody outside of the UK. I'm not sure. We've only sold one Advent using the Klarna payment, so I'm not 100% sure, but it will allow you to pay in 3 installments, 3 monthly installments, or I think delay your payment for 3 months. Yeah, so we've added that. Hopefully it will be a help. What else do I need to say? They won't ship out until mid to late October, so you'll have them ready for Advent, and they'll be shipped tracked and signed internationally, and tracked and signed all the way around actually. Yeah, just tracked and signed. Sorry the postage is so much internationally, but that's just what it costs and it's very annoying. I think that's everything. I'm going to pop a link to a couple of videos. One video showing me opening an Advent, and one video talking about Advents in case I've forgotten anything. So I'll put the links to those below, or there might be an end card, or there might be both. Yeah, I think that is everything. It's been really lovely to come back and have a good old natter. Hopefully next time I see you I would have actually done more knitting or creating because I'm on my holiday. Very excited. I'll probably end up on the sofa this afternoon, but that's okay. I can do some more knitting. Wishing you a happy, healthy and crafty time until I see you next. Bye. I forgot to say, I was chatting about Patreon earlier, wasn't I? I'm going to put a link below to my Patreon account if anybody's interested in popping over. It's a paid for subscription where I post weekly, but depending on your tier, you may get a weekly post or a fortnightly post. Yeah, and it's kind of the price of just a fancy coffee. So, and also I've been doing it for about a year now, so there's quite a big back catalogue. So, and I'm really happy if people want to join and leave, come back, go up a tier, go down a tier. I'm really happy for all that. So just go for it if you fancy it. Anyway, bye.